Hey everyone, welcome to Todd Dogs, and today we're going to talk about severe weather. I'm Stream ArcaDad.
This is FictionBoi.
And I'm Whiplash Wolf.
And today we have a special guest.
Live a shit.
What do you mean?
I don't have my contacts, and that's why you took over.
Okay. And today we have a special guest. We have Jaron, and Jaron, talk a bit about you.
Well, hi. My name's Jaren. Everybody calls me Jaron. I know my name is very bad misspelled. I can speak English. First language is Spanish. I'm a fellow Puerto Rican, and I made that thing. Those little three handsome fellas right there. I'm the artist for the group. Well, one of them. And I'm here with these lovely people.
Yeah.
And I'm excited.
You're adorable.
And we also have a cute bean, as you see. Looks like a cute Link, baby teddy bear Link.
Oh, yeah.
He's the bear that you want to snuggle with when you're feeling in bed.
You just give a
Exactly.
big hug.
He's like that meme, he's like that meme is like the guy you worry about that your girlfriend wants.
Yes.
Because I always say to everybody, good night, sweet dreams. And if you have nightmares, I'm gonna f***ing kick them. Oh, sorry.
I
never thought a teddy bear would
What a
ever
great
curse.
start.
Sorry. Anyway. How are you guys?
I can't
Doing
see.
pretty well.
Doing pretty well. Can't see. You?
I don't know. It's a good question.
By the way,
I don't know how I feel anymore.
This teddy bear,
I
all he
feel
is
that.
just a pixel to me. I can't see.
oh gosh.
Damn, even that close
So
up?
by the way, if you guys haven't guessed by the decor, we're entering October. We're getting close to Halloween, so we thought it would be nice to, amp up the studio a bit, make reflect the upcoming Halloween event coming up.
The only thing we're missing is candy corn.
Yeah, I couldn't find a model. I'm sorry about that. We also started. I just put up the fan art from our first for our first fan that made some art. Wow, I can't speak.
It right there.
So we have our first fan art on the wall right now. So if you do send us fan art, we're gonna populate this wall with more of your work, and we'd like to thank you for any art that you send to us. It's really sweet. Keeps us going, keeps us motivated, and it's really cool. Looking forward to what you guys can come up with. But yeah, we're gonna post it on that wall. And if that wall fills up, we're gonna put it on the other one. So yeah.
Yes, and we always appreciate your support for this. It means a lot to us, honestly.
It's so pretty.
It is.
I just want to put everything. I'm gonna
It's so beautiful.
I'm gonna put them in the fridge.
It's gonna be like that fucking meme. It's like, it's so fluffy, I'm gonna die, but it's so beautiful, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cry.
Yeah.
There we go. It's so beautiful, I'm gonna cry. Wait 1 second. I got you. One second. I have the emote for it. Where's the nope. My bad.
Stop swearing.
It's so
Watch your
beautiful, I'm gonna
profanity.
cry. Watch your profanity.
All right.
Oh god. Oh
right.
god. If any
Could I maybe say something? That's okay.
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, we all know in recent news that there was Hurricane Ian that hit the islands in Florida.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
well, we're going to start off with that. We knew Whiplash and Jaron who got hit by it, and I think Jaron got hit about it the hardest. Florida did too, but you were up in like northern Florida.
Yeah, I'll say I didn't get hit by Florida, but it seems like every other year one part of Florida gets hit by hurricanes that haven't been hit by hurricanes in a long time. Where Ian hit, that part of Florida has been hit by a hurricane in almost 18 years.
Oh wow.
Okay.
So usually like there's like every part of the states watch, like Florida will get a hurricane every few years. Like I got hurt by Hurricane Sally back in 2020, which wasn't a bad hurricane, but it literally sat on top of us for 24 hours, just dropping rain. Yeah, that was more of a flooding hurricane.
Destroyed? Were there?
Not of mine. Like my family, okay, well, my friends and our house was fine, honestly. Nothing happened. Water was like flooding our backyard and it got up to like our porch almost because it was a lot. Like when I mean rain, I mean it was continuously raining for like a day and a half, about 2 days before it actually finally stopped.
In my case, I haven't encountered floodings per se, because in my area, where I mostly live, are mountaintops. But you were gonna say something. Continue what we're doing.
No, go ahead, Jaron.
Oh, okay. So mostly, what? Oh, he's in. Mostly
Sorry.
on 2017, mostly where I live is in Puerto Rico. So on 2017, I unfortunately got hit with Hurricane Maria. Maria was, well, actually, there were two that went at the same time. First, it was Irma. There, that's the name. So first it was Irma.
Irma. It's Irma.
Irma.
I know which ones you're talking about because Irma was like that was like the most for hurricane recordings. That was like the second highest winds that any hurricane's ever hit in history. It hit 185 miles an hour, which is
and that
ridiculous
actually
to think
destroyed
of.
the Doppler.
The Doppler radar. Oh, that's right, because Gus was over 200, wasn't it?
Like it took out the Doppler, and then like after 2 weeks, everything got this back to normal, and then Maria hit. So it was a constant hurricane with another hurricane.
2017 was a horrible year.
Oh, honestly, because it was at the point where it hit, it literally sliced the island in half, to say the least. Because within the eye of the storm, it went actually through where I live. So it went from the southeast to the northwest. So everything just got sliced by the hurricane. And unfortunately, it reached, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was category 5? Yeah.
Oh, no.
It was
both of them were category 5s.
And everything just went black. At least in my experience, I had to stay with a cousin. And the winds were so strong, the water was actually flooding in the house. And we had to prowls under the doorway. So no water could enter. Oh. And sorry, it's a little bit hard to explain because I'm a little bit emotional. But the next day, the winds were still strong, and all of it was just dead. Houses were down, electric wires were down. Houses were destroyed, actually. Farm life, metro area, south area, in the mountains. All the trees just fell down, and there was no power, no water, like telephone communication. If you had any, good luck, because it was honestly very, very shocking for everyone. And within my situation, at least, I could talk about it this good time, but I don't know if it's okay if I can talk about the entire experience on how I went with Maria. Okay,
that's cool.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, so like a week after, I went back to my house, and the house where I lived, it had a tree up of the roof. The house didn't broke down, thank God. But there were houses that were more worried, like there were wooden houses, and those houses just got destroyed by the wind. As well, like mountain But in my case, I had to go to a hardware store, and there was a lot of line of people trying to get the tools that they need, right? In my case, I wasn't too lucky because what I needed was some PVC pipes, some axes, shovels, and all that stuff to remove some of the sediment.
PVC pipe?
Yeah, because the house that I was, we needed I was gonna cut it in half so the water could drain out of the roof. So it would push down and then push through the PVC pipe.
Oh, cool! Cool, good idea. Tinkering.
And and I just needed that because the houses over here, they're not your regular triangle shaped house. Over here, they're just solid rectangles. Maybe there's some houses with the triangle shape, but it's really not well for a good example. Snow. The island overall, if there's snow and it builds up, it will go through the water will go through the roof and it would leak. So we're not prepared for global warming if it goes up to that. Because I know that there has been areas. If I'm not mistaken, Texas was hit by a blizzard, correct? Right?
Yeah,
not
Texas
a blizzard,
hit by a
but snow.
blizzard.
Yeah.
Well, it was snow, but it was a bad snowstorm, say the least.
So back to the hardware. In my case, people were very getting protective over everything: food, stools, water, in general, everything. It got to the point that someone stole a gas truck to gain, gas because there wasn't any power and we need a power plant. Power plant? We'll translate. Here we go.
I just love hearing the little frogs croaking in the background. I think it's adorable.
Yeah, that's when you know they're in a rainforest. So.
Yeah. Did I tell you guys I really love frogs? I used to have fun catching them and then taking care of them when I was younger.
You didn't have the superstition of getting warts.
No, that's not true, by the way. One time I captured 11 bullfrogs. And it was getting cold outside, so I brought it inside the camper. They got so loud, my parents screamed at me to get them out because they couldn't sleep.
Yeah, bullfrogs are so loud, my god.
So the frogs that you're hearing, actually, they're called cookies. So the name says it all because they actually go cookie. So if you hear them in the background, they're not croaking, they're just saying cookie.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm sure they're adorable.
They're pretty adorable. Most of them, and there's actually, there's a golden cookie, but mostly all of them are just regular cookies. So they're just very tiny, but they sound very loud. And if one is on your window, make sure to take him out.
Oh no! No, don't kill the frogs. They're too cute.
Yeah. So they are electric.
Climb on. They're what?
Electric plants, what I was talking about. I just Google translated. Gas, line for gases, they reach kilometers. Groceries reach, if it was by people, when I went to a local Walmart, it was literally mostly a mile or two so people can get food. Because not a lot of people had that privilege to get, to go to the area and get the food. Of course, people needs to be prepared for any kind of situation. Just a heads up. You don't know when anything is going to hit. Any earthquake, hurricane. I mean, hurricane season, of course, is going to happen mid-August to over. It's going to happen. But it's well known to have your resources mostly on canned food, are a must. Packs of rice save everything. As well, what I was thought was to have a dumb barrel or like a plastic barrel and put foods there and seal it tight, and that would actually be kept for a solid 3 years if it's properly. So you would have food on reserve.
Gotta keep
But
it cold.
not a lot of people.
You had to keep it cold because that barrel must not warm up.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
of course. But there's some that you can bury underground if it's sealed shut. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you just keep the top of the lid and you put a big rock on top of it.
Even with
I'll say-
water.
Good idea.
One thing it really does, like, with bad Puerto Rico, is Puerto Rico is usually in, like, the line of sight for almost every hurricane that exists. Usually.
Mostly the Virgin Islands. I don't know how those people are surviving. I'm gonna be real honest.
They must have houses made out of diamonds at this point.
Honestly. Minecraft diamonds just there. Pop, pop, pop.
I just know, like, hurricanes, like, either, like, whenever they go through, that one small opening in the Gulf, which is, where Puerto Rico, Jamaica, is Jamaica? Is Jamaica?
Republican, Dominican, and
And Cuba.
It's Puerto Rico,
It's
Republican, Jamaica, and Cuba.
So when the hurricanes go through there, then they just kind of like split up either into Mexico, Texas, Mississippi, New Orleans, or Louisiana, Alabama, Florida. That's usually how it works. Like Maria, after it hit Puerto Rico, went straight into Texas, I think.
It did,
Okay,
but I don't
know
have
that's-
much information.
No, I just know 2017 was a horrible year. They had like the most amount of like Category 3 hurricanes in a long time. But last year was the most active year we've had in a long time. Oh, 2020 was. That was 2020. Never mind.
Yeah.
And then this year has been
2020,
silent, except for Ian. Ian is the only hurricane.
For me, recently was Fiona.
Was it bad?
At least for the Southwest people, because my area, like it's in the north area, it wasn't hit as much. Mostly it was rain and wind. But in the Southwest, my partner actually got hit by, and they didn't have power for a solid month. So that's what I was going to say actually about 2017 is. So in my case, for Maria, we didn't have power for 9 months at all.
9
and
months?
It was, yeah. At least I got my energy back after 9 months. So mostly everything was running by power plant. I mean, electric plant.
Damn.
Which
I didn't realize like that was that. Well, I should have realized it was that bad. It was a high Category 5 hurricane when it hit you guys. But damn, 9 months. I guess like whenever like Irma came through, that like did a lot of damage, and then Maria was like just right behind, chugging along. It was like, oh, you thought you were done? Nope.
yeah, that's pretty much it actually. And what sucks is that a lot of people that depend on power, I'm not saying like regular people, people that have like their oxygen or anything that needs electric wire for the people that aren't in health, need that sort of protection. Yeah, that thing. It just went down, and I know for sure that a lot of people died because of it, including in hospital. Because of course hospitals got power back, quote unquote power back.
They got
after
generators
2
for
weeks.
sure.
Yeah, but do have in mind generators could last up to 5 days, and if there's no gas, then there's nothing that can be done.
Oh,
And it depends on the size of the hospital as well, because it's not gonna. It's just for a period of time if you don't have power. But that's what it bothers me, because I know that families had a lot of loss because of Hurricane Maria. I as well went through some stuff that I don't want to talk about, maybe in another podcast. But it was a struggle for everybody, for sure, 100%. Even getting back resources like food and. Give me a second.
You okay?
I think someone came on his door and someone wanted to talk to him.
No, all I know is just experiencing hurricanes. I mean, I can't experience like what J-Ron must go through, since usually most of the hurricanes that come into the States usually die down by the time they actually get there. But past few years, you know, because global warming exists, anytime any hurricane hits the Gulf of Mexico, the power just speeds up. Like Ian, when it went past, you know, Cuba, Jamaica, and Puerto Rico, it was a category 2 or 3 hurricane. As soon as it started hitting the Gulf of Mexico, it built up power like almost a category 5 before it hit Florida. Like, if it would have, like, they had different directions on it, like it was heading like towards, one point it was heading towards me. If it had all that time in the Gulf of Mexico and it came towards me, it would have been a 5 by the time it hit. Like, we had Hurricane Michael back in 2018. It hit like 2 hours away from me and destroyed, as the city is called, it's called Panama City in the Mexico Beach. It pretty much wrecked that entire area. Like, it used to be like very touristy area, but since all that's happened, it's been like on a downfall, because it's just, they're still trying to recover from it 4 years later. But you guys going through hurricanes pretty much yearly, every month or every week. I don't know. I have to give you guys credit.
2021, we didn't got hit as much like with the past one, so it's just been rain. But this one, at least with Fiona, mostly like I said, it hit the southwest mostly. That got destroyed. But it got back after a month, at least with my. And it was hard because I had to help them out to come over here and at least for them to get power back, because it was
Oh no.
awful.
There's no storms right now.
Uh-oh.
I was saying there's no storms right now.
So
that's a good thing, at least. It's just so weird to me, like
You were in the carpet.
our
the carpet
dad was
rejoin.
in the air like an angel. No, like, it's weird because like the past 2 years, like technically were pretty active years. I mean, this year was slow. It was really slow, and then just out of nowhere, it just ramped up. Like nothing happened. Like, you just started hearing storm. Like, okay, it was like one of the first few ones in a while. And like a few days later, it's like, oh, there's another one coming. And then another one's coming. And then another one's coming. It's like, well, great time to start.
Beyblade, let it rape.
Then one of them was Fiona, one of them was Ian. Okay, let me say this right now. Even though Ian did a lot of damage. Huh?
I hear music.
Where at?
Is it on your end?
I don't hear any music in here.
I mean, I'm playing music, but it's not going through my mic.
What? You're listening to music?
Yes.
Shameful.
Yes, but
Okay.
I'm gonna say this. Ian is such a weak name for a hurricane.
Oh my god.
Dude, just hearing Hurricane Elsa, everybody just making Let It Go memes. Like,
If you want to know an infamous hurricane, it's Katrina. That was a meme mother.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: Katrina was. We're gonna take New Orleans out of this exclusion. Yes, did New Orleans get badly destroyed by Katrina? Yes, but everyone focused on New Orleans, and yes, I do feel bad for New Orleans still, because they never got the help they needed. But taking a look at Mississippi too, where Katrina actually made landfall at, on the bad side, they got destroyed badly. Like, most houses, like, if you take a look at pictures of Katrina, like, hitting Gulfport, Mississippi, or Biloxi, it was like sticks everywhere. No houses really survived there. Katrina was like a horrible hurricane for that section. But, you know, because Katrina also destroyed levees in New Orleans, that flooded the entirety of New Orleans pretty much.
Gosh.
It was just bad altogether.
Speaking of
You guys are really not lucky. Here in Quebec, Canada, we don't go through any of these things. We get the aftermath. We get like severe winds, and that's it. But nothing to tear roofs off. It's really
Oh, no,
weird.
like,
Canada.
think of a tornado. but then like make it 200 miles bigger.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
I mean, we had like a severe catastrophe, but that happened. But I'll let you finish your point. I can talk about it later.
Yeah.
Yeah, hurricanes are just like, if you move anywhere towards Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, usually that's like hurricane central pretty much, but sometimes there is a rare occasion where a hurricane will head up to either South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, and that rarity that was Hurricane Sandy back in 2012, where it went into, I think, New Jersey and New York City as a category 2.
Yeah.
Just like how people say that the Southerners don't know anything about snow, which is true, because I've never seen snow my entire life.
Either.
But we're not prepared for it like a lot of states are, because we never see it. It'd be just a waste of state money.
Molded by snow.
Yeah, that's why you're cold. Gotcha.
Apologies.
You couldn't imagine what it was like when Texas got hit by a lot of snow. Jesus Christ. It was something else.
Yeah, but that's like people making fun of them. But, they're not prepared for something like that, like a lot of states are. Just like how up north wasn't prepared for, Hurricane Sandy when they got hit. Because it's a freak of nature. It shouldn't have head up there. But as Floridians, we take seeing a hurricane as... Okay, I say this lightly. We take it seeing it as a joke. Because we're hit by hurricanes so often, it's just like, all right, it's another one. All right, let's see what you can do. It's like a hurricane is going on to American's Top Idol or America's Top what are the shows called? And like they're auditioning for America's Next Idol or whatever it's called. It's like, all right, let's see what you can do. And then Ian just comes in and just
used by it.
blows off Ian just comes in and just makes all the judges stunned at what they did.
Talking like a true Florida man right here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Also, by the way, alligators, they don't exist where I live at. Honestly, they do exist somewhere in South Florida.
Speaking of alligators, with Fiona, actually, there was some alligators floating by because of the rivers flooding up.
Jesus.
At least over here. Yeah. Which it was very funny, but at the same time, safety. First of all, safety. But wanted to bring back to the resources part. Getting resources, at least since we're part of the US, we're property of the US, but we're not a state per se. Can't confirm.
Do you at least still get help by the United States at least? Like FEMA and stuff? Okay, good.
We do, but
that's good, at least.
That's when FEMA came in on 2017 actually, but sorry to say that, but FEMA was shit. At least in my...
Not the first time I've heard that. Trust me.
So shit, dude. Like, it's... Okay, I can say with confidence then. It was so shit. I know...
Actually, you're supposed to calibrate. I was supposed to calibrate, no. No. FEMA is pure shit. Like, here's the thing is, when they, Katrina came through...
What they thought about.
And FEMA was supposed to help them out. Yeah, they're bad. They're really bad.
Dude, FEMA and Luma... Luma is the company over here for the power and stuff. Before it was the AEE. I don't remember what it's called. What was it called? But now it's Luma. And the governor was so... I want to say... He was in thought well. He didn't thought well of the consequences going through everything, but when the last president came here... Oh boy, let me tell you. I don't want to trigger anyone, just a warning, but the last president really didn't do as much over here because he just came to the island and said like, oh, yeah, there's some catastrophe, let's just bring FEMA. Okay, I applaud him for that, but what I don't agree of him doing was throwing paper towels like it was a basketball court to people. And that was in the metro area. I
remember saying that.
Like, huh? You do remember that?
Yeah, I remember him tossing paper towels. I remember him tossing paper towels to people in need like it was a t-shirt shooter at a fucking sports event.
It was so bad. Like you're seeing people struggle with IRL stuff, and then you just throw paper towels. Let's just go. Yeet.
Here's the thing: is I'm not going to defend his actions, but it's because he's never went through something like that before, and he probably never will ever again. So he thinks it's just a fun and game things.
No, and like I said, he didn't took the time to see what else was going around the island. Like, as a whole, it's just a 2-hour drive to go back and forward to west to east. Like, you could have seen everything that was going on, at least in the highways, and like
had no excuse.
what's going on. Huh?
They had no excuse. 2 hours. That's all
they really didn't. No. It was just, okay, metro area. Okay, good. Those were the people that got more money. And what about the people that live in the countryside? Or people that lives in the mountains? Like, everybody got hit differently, but it's still the same place. I don't even want to know what happened to, like, one of the wonders of the world here is called El Yunque. And that's a massive forest area here in Puerto Rico. I don't even want to know how that was handled, because like they said, it was compared to a zombie apocalypse on how dead it was. Like, we only had the radio as entertainment. So when these news people... Huh?
I think he did the same thing too whenever Hurricane Michael came through in 2018 near where I lived at. He just came down and did the same thing. It's like, oh, there's damage.
Mm-hmm.
FEMA!
And FEMA was really like handling... Yeah, they gave stuff. I'm not gonna be mad. Like, they gave a little bit of shelter. They did help houses to be rebuilt. But at the same time, they just look, at least in my point of view, they just look over the... translate. Surface. There we go. They only look at the surface area of the island. They didn't look very inside, like, the actual things that people needed. Like, what about the people that needed oxygen? What about the people that needed, like, other methods of just staying at least at the hospital to get, like, help? Because I know that a lot of, like I mentioned starting here, a lot of people died. And I'm pissed at this because they were just giving readings that 7 people died, but no, a lot of people died. Like, how can you say that only 7 people died in a solid 3 months? Of course not. It's irrational. A lot of people died, and it makes me sad. It makes me sad for myself and for everybody, like, being a Boricua. Like, it makes me sad that the help that we needed, we didn't got them. And yeah, we do live in an island, and resources coming from boats are very difficult because just, you know, having the communication issue, nothing. It was really nothing. It was just, okay.
Very good.
So I want to take some time to mention our YouTube channel. If you guys want to, if we would really appreciate if you could like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell on our YouTube channel. We also have a Discord and a community, Discord and a Telegram community chat if you guys want to join. So make sure you hit the comment section below. Check it out. The link tree is there, down there, to find the link for everything. And if you guys don't do it, I think it's going to be a combo of both Fiction and Whiplash telling you what's going to happen if you don't.
I'm going to tear you a new one.
What?
That was my dog.
Oh my god.
You can blur that out if you want to.
No, that was great.
You won't get extra rent for your wings.
So, just to bring one more thing.
I forgot to mention something before we keep going. I need to mention the question of the week, and this week's question is: do you feel different because of the weather? How does different types of weather affect your emotions? Make sure you put it down in the comments below, and we'll read it out next week.
Yeah, rain does make me sleepy. That's what I was.
Rain makes me angry because everyone starts driving 10 miles an hour
chill
slower.
And relax.
I just get sleepy.
I personally love thunderstorms and lightning, and for me, it's super soothing. And honestly, my husband and I, every time we go to bed, I've automated a rule in the bedroom that it turns on my phone that plays thunderstorms and rainfalls and stuff like that in the background.
I do that.
And it helps me to go
I
to
will
sleep.
say this. I do enjoy rain too. Like, I enjoy rain when I'm like in my house and just relaxing. But the instant I start driving in it, I despise everyone on the road because they act like they don't know how to drive in it. It's not that hard.
No. Talk about winter storms here in Canada.
See, I don't know actually how to drive in winter storms, so
it's fun.
I would be one of those people.
Well, it's honestly in Canada, every time I see like events where like Paris got a half an inch of snow or Texas got some snow and everybody's freaking out, first reaction I was like, oh, so cute. They're figuring out how to deal with snow. In the meantime, in Canada, we have 4 inches of snow and we're freaking drifting all around. But then, like you mentioned, you guys are not ready for it. You're not prepared. So it's kind of normal. There's some areas they kind of freak out about it, and I start feeling bad for like kind of laughing about it because it's a serious situation. I mean, if you're not ready to deal with this type of crisis, like what do you guys do? You don't have solutions. So it's kind of bad. I feel bad in the end.
Another thing about Florida too is recently too, tornadoes have become a much more problematic thing too, and which the bad thing about here's the thing is the thing about hurricanes is you can find out the forecast of a hurricane in the future by like 5 days, and you know if it's coming towards you or not. Tornadoes, are just
they just happen.
Yeah, you get a severe thunderstorm that comes through, and depending on the severity of the storm is like. One just happens to come through, and that's it. I think it was 5 years ago or 6 years ago. It's been a while since this one tornado came through. It just came through where I live at, and it randomly fallen down in a very busy intersection of where I live, my city. And it decided to go through my friend's neighborhood. Started in the middle of a road and started going into my friend's neighborhood, and it just kept getting more intensive as soon as it went in there. It was bad. I think it was a EF3 tornado, which that's like 180 miles an hour. It was pretty bad. It was random. I don't even know that about that night. I was hanging out with my friends at a Whataburger, and like the storm just kept progressively getting worse and worse and worse. And we just went back to my friend's house, and we weren't that far away from where the tornado touched down. It was like maybe a mile and a half, 2 miles. It was a very stormy night, that's for sure. But tornadoes are just like progressively getting much more of a words would like to come out of my mouth correctly. They're becoming more common around here now, and that's not a good thing.
Boys, do they do
My body tracking wants to itself right now, and it's about to go, and I don't know why.
Do the same thing as what?
So look at my chest, how it's moving by itself. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm kind of like scared. I'm gonna go flying. Okay. I have to tilt myself because my whole place just went like this. It just twisted. Stop.
Yeah, I love base stations. Also, what you're on?
Yeah. So, do tornadoes take houses like they do in the Wizard of Oz? Or
no. What they do is they completely destroy the house depending on the tornado size and intensity.
The tornado itself is not the dangerous part. The scary part about a tornado is you can't fucking hear them.
Yeah, you can. They sound like trains. They sound like trains.
You guys have those like sirens?
Really?
I've been close to one before.
I've been close to one too. You cannot hear those things, and you can't even see them because when it's dark outside, you can't see them.
Oh no, yeah, when it's dark outside. Oh yeah, absolutely.
What you're seeing is the debris and the sand lifting.
So depending on the tornado, if it's an EF0 and EF1, you probably can make it through a tornado fine. But if it's an EF2, you probably will be picked up, or you'll be tossed aside like a toy car. EF3 is when you probably will be picked up into the tornado itself. Like, you have to understand, Category 5 hurricanes start at 155 miles an hour. An EF5 hurricane is 300.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and there's not many of those because, as you can think of, EF5 tornadoes are usually like the ones that hit
In the
What was
middle of
it?
the
It was
United
that one-
States.
So
Usually
what do
those,
you
yeah,
guys do
like-
for shelter then?
Oh, see, the thing is, in
ground.
southern states. So what's funny
Wait, really?
is in Florida. So here's something interesting. In Florida, basements are banned because we get hurricanes and storm surges are pretty damn high when they come through.
Right.
So there's no basements in Florida at all. So we get a tornado. The main protective area is the bathroom because there's no windows. Or a closet, something that's very sheltered by the house. Usually it's a good built structure. And there's not big open area. Usually that's the most strongest area of the house. But
So they do
anywhere
have
else,
building code to reinforce the bathroom in case a hurricane hits.
oh yeah, we have a hurricane. We have hurricane structured wood, I guess. I'm not sure how you call it, but we have that. The glass is hurricane proof. We also have just shelter things we put in front of the glass too, just in case during a hurricane it happens to pick up some sharp object and just toss it through the window.
Wow.
When it comes to tornadoes, though, is the best safe thing you can do, and people in the middle of the United States already do it, is that they hide underground. Not in a basement, but they have these spaces
Bunkers?
of the door. Yeah, bunkers. They have bunkers. That's the safest place you want to be.
I've
Yeah,
seen people, they
because-
build bunkers that are under their bed, so they open up the bed, and it's like a safe space with food and stuff, and it's bolted to concrete and stuff. I've seen
No,
those
that's the best
before.
idea.
I mean, over here, what we use for shelters is just, for people that lost stuff, right? They usually go either to schools or, schools in general, or just shelters. But we don't have, those sort of things. So that's what I'm asking. It's really interesting. We should have, at least over here in Puerto Rico, excuse me. Over here in Puerto Rico, we should implement those kinds of things here. Because they do sound more protective than just staying in a cement house.
Don't you guys have water sprouts?
Every once in a while. There was actually one a few years ago that went through Fort Walton Beach, which is 45 minutes away from me. It started as a water spout out in the ocean, and the second it got onto land and became an EF3, an EF2, and started destroying stuff. Yeah, water spout is just a tornado, but less dangerous at the moment
In the water.
time.
It's a tornado in the water. Fiction, have you witnessed in your life severe weather?
Yes, I have twice actually,
What did you got?
and they were both tornadoes.
So you've witnessed tornadoes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I've never
been
seen
in
one.
the middle of them. Oh, they're not fun to be
gosh.
around.
No, they're not fun when they're coming towards you. Guess. Oop, go ahead.
Well, when it comes to a tornado, the first warning signs is, how it works. Tornadoes are usually formed by hot and cold weather. And usually when that happens, it starts to rain hail. And when it's raining hail, there's a tornado coming. Well, not always, but the hail is a signal that tells us, oh shit, hot and cold weather hitting each other. And when they start to do that, they start to form tornadoes. And then when they touch the ground, those are not fun. The scariest thing about them is when you get them at night because you cannot see them at all.
Oh gosh.
And I was in the middle of one a few years back in Nashville. It hit Nashville. He broke.
What the hell is going on? Gosh, my screen went gray for a second. Sorry.
That's okay.
And
I never had that
anyways.
issue before. Sorry. Go ahead.
You're good. Anyways, when the tornado hit in Nashville, working as a salesman for Anheuser-Busch, which they distribute Budweiser products, and I was at the store late at night trying to make an order because I wanted to get out early that day. And so when that happened, then I heard the alarms go off, and there's a huge tornado that just hit right in the middle where I'm at. And then all I remember was I was in a Kroger in Germantown in Nashville. That's where it hit badly over there. And when it came through, I remember shards of glass just flying at me. I had to dive into the aisle where the chips were.
Oh wow.
And because I didn't think it was. Oh God.
I'm so done with this. Like my body flying across the room. It's going like sideways up there. What is happening? Sorry.
It's okay.
So mad right now.
So when that happened, luckily the Kroger that I was in did not get hit. But there was an AutoZone and a church across the street from us that was gone. That's how close it was to me. The safest place to be. The safest place to be when a tornado hits near a grocery store is hide in the freezer.
Yeah.
Oh yes, the walls are reinforced. They're foam and steel. Yes. Very true. Or in every restaurant they have a freezer section. You can just go in it.
Mm-hmm. The other thing about tornadoes too is, which is a good thing, especially if it's during daytime. If you see a tornado off in the distance, but it doesn't look like it's getting moving left or moving east-west, but it's getting bigger as it comes. That's a sign, notification. That's when you need to hide, because all that means is it's heading towards you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tornadoes. Oh, also another thing about hurricanes. Tornadoes like to spawn off hurricanes immensely.
Oh yeah.
The one that hit me back in 2004 has the most tornadoes ever counted come off a hurricane. They had 155 tornadoes.
Wow.
You just reminded me of something as well. Over here in Puerto Rico, we don't get a lot of earthquakes. And one that was actually very recent in the early 2000s, I think it would reach a category that the entire island shook. And I remember this because little good boy went to church. I saw the chandeliers just swinging from side to side. It was so powerful that everything was moving, and it was, oh God, I still remember that.
See, you would be so proud of you.
Huh?
Can I tell my experience of what I've gone through with the severe weather?
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah. So I live in the province of Quebec in Canada. We're basically on the East Coast. We're close to Maine and Vermont. And we don't have a lot of severe weather or anything critical, but in 1998 we had one of the most major ice storm that hit 5 million people. And basically what happened is from January 5th to January 10th, we got 10 millimeters of rain, which is about 30 inches. No, it's more than that. It's almost 3.5 feet of water. And it's the middle of winter. So I was 7 years old back then when it happened, and it destroyed 3,000 kilometers worth of pylons that were meant to be hurricane capable, able to withstand hurricane, crashed, and it took them 34 days to rebuild the whole network. And I remember when I used to live, my father installed an oil fireplace, and we would cook on top of it. We had no power. Back in the day, I used to have a lot of fun with it because I thought it was kind of funny and interesting, and no school, woohoo, I was really happy about it. But I saw twigs the size of Q-tips be surrounded by 1 inch to 1.5 inches of water. It was incredible. Honestly, it was kind of beautiful to see the forest with all this ice because it felt like an ice palace, but there was also a lot of destruction, and it was really difficult. But that's probably the only thing I really witnessed. Thought it was interesting to mention.
We have a dog that wants to be on the show too. I heard him.
What the dog doing?
Exactly. Oh yeah, just like I said, snow is not very prominent here. Since I've been alive, it's only snowed once in 27 years where I live at. It happened a few years ago, actually, back in 2019, 2018. It's one of those two. You have to understand, when I mean we're not prepared for it, there were so many accidents that day when it came through.
Dude, Puerto Rico as a whole isn't prepared to get another storm or hurricane because of Maria. It feels like a scar that it just gets open again and again. And everything just feels fragile.
Oh, no, trust me, I understand. When Sally came through, our city was building or rebuilding this bridge that connects an island to the main part of Florida. And they were... No.
Okay.
I told you where I live at. No, so they were reconstructing it, right? It was supposed to be much built stronger. It was supposed to be taller, so in case surge comes through, it wouldn't destroy the bridge like it did during Hurricane Ivan back in 2004. And during it, when Sally was like making its way through Mexico, like it came through Florida, and then it kind of like stalled in the Gulf of Mexico. Like it was supposed to go to Louisiana first, but it slowed down so much that the path kept changing from Mississippi, Alabama, and then it got to the point where it started pointing at us, and then it started. By the way, this storm was slowly moving. I mean, slowly moving. It was moving at 2 miles an hour. And it finally started making its way towards us. Like, it got to the point it was making its way towards us. And then it sit in the Gulf of Mexico for so long, it got up to, like, a category 2, 3, low 3, I think, when it hit. It was just... God. But the people who were building the bridge for us were not prepared for it to actually head this direction. So when they anchored down the barges that they were using to build the bridges on, every single one of them got loose. There were 57 barges loose, and it destroyed the bridge they were building, pretty much. And barges were, like, ending up in people's backyards. So, you know, they're having a pet barge.
Okay.
So we're about to hit the 1 hour mark, so I think we're going to go for one last question. So for all of you, would you guys rather live in somewhere that is hot, dry, and like perfect weather all year long, or would you prefer to have seasons?
I prefer
like to have
seasons
my
to be cold.
Seasons.
Seasons.
I would say
But also
cold
depends
weather.
where at.
Cold weather. I like cold weather.
I'm on you, brother. I like cold.
I prefer
Same.
I
the
don't.
cold.
I mean, to be honest with you, I love Florida. I like visiting there, but I realize the humidity there worse than Tennessee's.
Oh,
I don't love
killer.
Florida.
I've been
What
to
makes- what makes
Miami.
you-
I wanted to die.
What makes you think I love
God,
Florida?
it was so bad.
Dude, over here it's an eternal summer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Every year there's like 9 months, actually 9-10 months of the year in Florida is summer, and then the other 2 months are like a mild fall.
Yeah,
What
and
is-
if
if
it's winter, it's just something in the morning for temperature.
We still
much.
should go visit Puerto Rico though, just to see our buddy here, because I'm pretty sure he will show us around.
Yes,
But
I'll
if-
feed you guys well. I don't want the tourists to give you I don't want them to fool you guys. I'm gonna treat you right, okay?
Okay.
Good. So I do want to mention something as well. So if you guys want to donate, I'll give the leader of the podcast 2 places where you can donate. For everything that's going on, at least here in Puerto Rico. So there's one called Taller Salud, basically meaning sorry, I can't try. Yeah, I don't know where my brain is going. And then there's the Maria Fund. The Maria Fund mostly was created for the people when Hurricane Maria started. So it's basically just grabbing, with your guys' help and donations, help us to get the resources and help people who lost their homes and medical, even as well with food, and just give shelter to people. Taller Salud basically is the same thing, but those two correlate in the top area in Puerto Rico. I don't know if you guys have any other donation centers to help out your local area.
I don't know. Does Canada do a donation center?
We do have donation centers in Canada. Yeah, there's places you can give clothes, you can give food. Actually, a lot of stuff when I don't need anymore, I just bring them to those donation centers. I mean, rather avoids making trash and can make somebody happy.
Well,
Yeah.
I recently moved to
The same
Maryland. I don't
thing.
even know where the donation center is yet.
Oh, sometimes
have
we
them in
have
Florida
those metal
too.
containers. You can drop clothes, you can drop stuff in it. It's really cool. Instead of throwing everything in the garbage.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like we have them in Florida too, but like I don't really want to put like Red Cross, Red Shield out there because I don't know, they seem kind of sketchy, to say at least. Well, you feel like the person who's running a foundation shouldn't be making 7 figures a year, right?
Good point. Good point.
Yeah.
You're supposed to help out. You should use that money for something good. I mean, they do have to manage a lot of decisions, and I mean, you need somebody that has quality, like competence, and knows what they're doing. But 7 digits, I think it's exaggerated. It's a bit too much.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think we're gonna have to call it off for tonight. I'd like to thank you all for joining us today on this podcast. Thank you, Jeron, for telling us your story, how you've been through these hurricanes. Sounds honestly
I'm
horrible.
Glad. I feel honored that I can have a voice. Because I may talk one from millions. And I want people to be heard. And there goes Whippy. But really, thank you guys.
Whippy. Whippy. I'm going to call him Whippy now.
Whippy.
Whippy boy.
Whippy boy.
Whippy boy. I'm gonna whip all your ass is what I'm gonna do.
Do it. Do it.
Oh my god.
What?
What?
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
I have a disadvantage because I'm PC.
Come on, Whippy boy. Go on, Whippy boy.
Do your thing.
Come on, Whippy. Come on, Whipped cream.
Whipped cream.
I'm holding back to not do that thing.
But
Coltyn had to blur me out completely.
Make sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below for any questions you might have for the question of the week for us. But remember, if you don't do it, I'll come find you and I'm gonna take away your chicken nuggies.
Oh no!
Take away their.
Please don't.
Take away their.
No, you can't do
take
that.
away their dino chicken
So much
nuggets.
hate. You can't do that.
Yeah,
Take away their
I'm taking
dino
away
chicken
the
nuggets. It tastes like crap. They do.
Oh.
yeah. I'm gonna take away the
Don't
Tyson
take my
chicken nuggets because they taste
barbecue
like crap.
But nuggets.
How dare
Why
you.
do you do this to me, Whip?
Chicken dino nugget tastes like crap to me. I actually tried some yesterday at Ronnie's house.
But dino nugget.
Nah.
I will defend myself. You get away from my nuggies.
Yes, Colton.
Get away.
Yes.
Whippy. Let's call him Whippy, Coltyn.
No, you're not calling me Whippy. Not calling me Whippy.
I'm gonna tell Andreas to call you Whippy.
I
Whippy
will
boy.
smack Andreas into the ground.
I will destroy him.
The perks of being tiny.
I know he'll like that. That's a problem.
Okay.
Understandable. God, I am so happy right now because none of the dogs bark. At least my neighbor's dogs. That would be hell.
Yeah, it went well.